Bills. J-Dog back, and we got Don of the Dead, aka Big D. And we're here to ask some goddamn questions, shoot the shit, and see where the fuck it goes. And I got the one video too, D, where people sending a shitload of questions. I saw some pretty decent. I didn't really
All right.
proofread them. I read the top three, and I'm like, oh, these are good enough. Well, there was
All
136
right.
total.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, I was like, got some.
We better get to it.
But the first one I actually was going to ask. Actually, the first one's gonna be from me because I never actually asked you, and I'm actually curious what your answer is on camera. God damn it! Is I have a pretty goddamn good idea what you're going to say, but just out of curiosity, not demos, not EPs. What is, in your opinion, the greatest death metal album of all time?
Can I do mini LP?
Yeah, as
it's
long as it's studio.
Sodom.
As long as it's studio.
Sodom.
Oh, is it Sodom?
Yeah, that's
Sodom and the Sign of Evil.
Absolutely.
So, because I kind of brought that up as a death metal album on the channel. People are like, that's not a death metal album. That's a thrash album. What does Big D say to that?
They are incorrect.
They're incorrect. Yeah. Okay. I thought you were gonna. I thought you were gonna say Possess Seven Churches. That was.
Oh, I mean that's definitely without a doubt. That's up there. I mean that's probably top 3.
So but, what is? Yeah, I guess I was gonna ask too before I thought of that one. I was like, I'm gonna kind of, in general, when I interview people, I'm gonna kind of that's gonna be kind of like my just normal question for everybody, because I think it kind of tells about your personality too a little bit, where you started at, what's your mindset for metal, death metal, thrash metals, everything. It kind of just it answers a little bit about, because suppose if you ask a 20-year-old, he's like the greatest death metal album, it's Behemoth. Yeah. All right, well that explains to me where you can't. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It gives you a little bit insight to the person. But what are some others that are top death metal albums then?
Possess Seven Churches, NME, Unholy Death.
Okay.
Yeah, and that first Sodom EP. I'd say that fits my style or what I like to listen to in death metal perfectly. Those 3 records.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
that's kind of what I expected, but it's slightly different.
Because I don't think a lot. I mean, even though they're people do like NME or that album, but it's never listed high enough on anybody's great death metal records. But
it's funny with that album too. It was about, because obviously doing the distro and the store and shit like that, it seemed like it had hype about people really paying attention about 15 years ago, and now it's not so much because like it got reissued and shit, and just I could tell by the sales.
Yeah,
you know what I mean, how
sure.
shit moves, and it's just funny how that shit goes in waves.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So, anyways, next one I want to ask before I get to the goddamn video with questions. It was through text. Francisco from Thy Feeble Savior, and he's doing his next band that we're putting out that I'm excited about called Eat the Decay. It's fantastic. It's like total general surgery necrology worship, aka Carcass. It's his project on that. He texted me and he said, "Ask Don." I have a pretty good idea who one of the people you're going to say too is. Who are some of his all-time favorite dudes named Don?
Boy,
I know at least one of them, but you might draw. Keep in mind, like you might have the same syndrome I have. When people ask me questions that are obvious as shit, I'll forget stuff that's the dead ass obvious.
Boy, I don't know. Famous Dons. Tough even to think of any that, let alone ones that I actually.
Well, I figured the main one I thought that was obvious was Don Dottie.
Oh, when I was in high school, people used to make those that connection, like because I was into heavy metal. So yeah, they.
Well, what's the story recently? No, you bumped it.
Don Dokken too.
No, but you had a Don Dottie stories in recent years, adult years. Who someone came up to you and thought you was him, or he came. What was the story? I don't remember.
Yeah,
I
was doing
was it LA?
LA swap meet, and Caton set it up with us, set it up with me, and I don't know what I was thinking, but I showed up wearing a Dark Angel shirt.
Yeah, okay. And you knew he was going to be there.
Yeah, I knew he was going to be there, but it's just what I had in my bag, and it didn't think about it. So yeah. I sat down next to Bill Matoyer, and he's just like. He's like, "How the hell have you been? I haven't seen you in decades."
Looking good.
And I was like, "Oh, wait a minute, I'm not that Don. I'm this other Don." But yeah, but he ended up showing up as well.
Did he know who you are? Does Don Dottie know who Don of the Dead is?
No, highly doubt it. Okay. I mean, I sat and talked to him for a while. We talked about the Dark Angel and him not being invited back and demos and stuff like that. But yeah. Yeah, those are the only two that come. Don Johnson from Miami Vice, but I don't know about that.
All right, we'll go straight to the goddamn video then. So your video, I did a 1 minute 50-second video, just saying people questions for Dawn of the Dead question marks. Did that 10 days ago. Then I told you about. It's got 136 comments. Presumably they don't have question marks. In my opinion, what the fuck's it doing in there? Very first one at the top. I think this is a pretty good one. The FXCK SXPPE. Get a better user ID name, Brian. What the fuck is that shit? Ask him to do virtual What's in My Bag. If he could go to a record store that sold everything imaginable, what are 5 albums that he would buy? Well, shit, he pretty much just gave you 3 of them.
Yeah, I'd have to say those three: Enemy, Possessed, Sodom, probably Slayer, Rain and Blood, and maybe Don't Break the Oath. Level it out.
Yeah. Really? What was the interview too? I think I'm gonna probably say it's funny. So that wasn't your top 5 bag apparently. I read it, and it was at the time I already knew you, but I was definitely a teenager. Maybe I only met you a few times, some of the McDonald's meetups, and I saw. I don't even remember what zine it's in. And the guy asked you like, what are your favorite bands? And you're like, I don't remember the exact list, but it was something like this. I like Venom, Possessed, Enemy, Venom, Merciful Fate, Slayer, Sodom. And did I mention I like Venom? Do you remember saying that?
No. How long? It was probably 20 years ago.
Oh, at least. Yeah.
So, I mean, I still like Venom.
Yeah.
But,
we're in the top 5 bag, though. So couldn't have been that good.
I was under pressure.
Yeah. Burning Bridges Burn. It's funny, the first 2 user IDs I don't even recognize at all, like asking regular questions on the regular channel. So good to see. Hey, Don, take us back to the beginning. How did you discover metal? When did you know that this is a lifelong passion? And which 5 albums do you think any new fan of metal music should check out? Question mark. I'll throw it in too as far as you started metal. I think you should throw in your first show experience in there, which I know the story of it. I just think it's pretty cool. It's like, god damn, that's a hell of a fucking first show.
Well, my first arena show, which was like pretty much all by myself, mom dropped me off and whatnot. I got to see Wasted, Motley Crue, and Ozzy Osbourne.
That was at the Bark of the Moon tour, right?
That was Bark the Moon tour. I believe that was 83 or 84, maybe at the end of 83, 84, something like that.
That was live.
That was my first arena show. But then my first like underground punk rock show, where there's a pit and people stage diving, was Black Flag.
Oh, really? I didn't even realize that.
Yeah, it was 1984.
Oh, shit. Okay.
It was at City Limits in Pittsburgh. I don't remember who opened up for them, but that was the first time I ever saw like a circle pit.
Was that now? That's at the time too. Like the punk shows, they're kind of like violent.
Yeah. There was especially against metalheads because I didn't have a mohawk or green hair or facial piercings or any of that shit, so I just got beat on.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, that was. But those were the 2 shows. How I got into more underground music. I mean, I was listening to Black Sabbath and Ozzy Osbourne and Judas Priest and Iron Maiden, and I ended up. I was in school with a guy named Terry Westwood, and we were talking about music, and he's a year or 2 older, and he said, "Hey, have you ever heard of this band? Heard of that band?" And I didn't, so he made me some tapes of.
Do you remember which bands he asked you about?
No, but I remember a lot of the bands on the tape. That was Fate's Warning, Trouble, Hellhammer, Man of War, and the Hellhammer struck me as something really, really.
Was that the demos or was that the Apocalyptic Rage? What was it for Hellhammer?
It would have been Apocalyptic Rage, yeah.
So how did you obtain the Hellhammer demos? Because I knew you got them early on.
Yeah, it was Seth Putman from AC. He was on tour. He was in a band called Executioner. They were on tour coming through Pittsburgh, and I met him. And how I met Seth was he had a on his jacket he had 2 buttons. He had Hellhammer and Village people.
It's like,
And
weird.
this is what the fuck's up with this. And he's like, I like them both, and so that started a many-year friendship. And he's the one that was like, have you heard the demos of Hellhammer? And I said no. So when they got done with the tour, he ended up sending them to me on tape. And
And then Celtic Frost came out and you hated it, right?
no, I don't hate Celtic
What do you
Frost. I
mean? You're
mean,
like, that
I mean,
shit ain't about the devil.
I like Morbid Tales and
No, the
a
demos.
little bit of Emperor's Return. And
Dude, I get kind of crucial. I mean, there's people that agree, but to me, I'm like, Instant Pandemonium. Even I was like, I thought that was horrible. And people like they're like, "What are you talking about?" I'm like, I thought that was
well,
just universally
so
known, but I guess not.
right. I mean, and that's how I feel too. But the thing with that record when it came out, so in my opinion,
Is that the one with Mexican radio?
it's got Mexican
Yeah, I mean,
radio.
what the
You
fuck is
know,
this?
the it was a directionless record. There's 4 or 5 different styles all going on at the same time on that record, with the different selections of the different songs are all like a different type of style. Not all of them, but about 4 or 5 different types of music. So I was really confused, especially as a kid. I'm like, what? And of course, I mean, I think it was a bad selection to put out uh, Mexican radio, especially put it. I believe it's the first song on the record, and it's just a. Yeah, I thought it was like, oh, they tanked their career. Little did I know that Cherry Orchards was in the fucking coming up. But anyway, yeah. So it's an okay band.
They get ripped on a lot on this channel.
So I heard.
Oh, have you?
Yeah, I've seen. I watched the channel a couple times.
From Joe Dinkins. He comments literally every single video. What's Don's favorite Nunslaughter full length album? I've actually never asked you that myself. I'm kind of curious myself. And favorite song to play live? Yeah, I actually don't even know the
Well,
answer to that either.
I'm not quite sure. I think for me, nostalgia purposes, Hell's Unholy Fire. Um, it just has a really thick sound, but my voice and vocals on that, I really do sound like a little kid. Like I haven't kind of figured that out yet. And then
You sound like a little kid on Hell's Only Fire.
yeah,
I never noticed that.
it's just not quite as aggressive as I wanted.
Yeah, but dude, all these bands, dude, like Smike when I did that interview with Harvey Exhumed,
Hmm.
dude, he took him 5 minutes to to pry anything. He hates them all basically. All bands are like that. It's like, well,
Well, yeah, I mean,
you got to be worst critic.
you're hypercritical of your
Yeah,
own art, but um, and then honestly, I think Red is Color Ripping Death. It it sounds very good. We took some very old Nunslaughter songs or not well recorded songs, recrafted them, put them on here, and then uh, the newer people in the band, we got their influence, kind of just meshed it all together. It's I think that record turned out very good, and I know you don't like Casket Lid Creeks, but
it's the only song on there I didn't like. Yeah,
yeah, it's
but I mean, it's
just
kind
a
of fun.
slow one.
It's funny that it made it to there because there was that rehearsal when it came on a 7-inch,
Yeah,
and
with
I think that's
All
what
These Wild.
I think that's when even Craig was in the band, right? And
Craig did bass on it.
yeah,
Yeah,
and I
and
said,
recorded
and
it.
it said to him, I was like, yeah, man, that song sucks. Hold on, up or out, it's a turd. He's like, he's puts, but then that's what I was like, they used it on studio. Oh shit! But because I already knew about the song.
Yeah, well, the thing is, so everybody's got their own
And
opinion, but
Joe's favorite,
yeah,
right? He's like,
it's
that's the best
Rath's
song.
favorite record or favorite song on that record,
I was like, oh shit,
or if not, maybe absolute favorite. It's one of his favorites.
which is fucking funny.
Yeah, because Joe likes to play fast all the time.
Uh,
But yeah, that I there's the whole reason that song never got completed was Jim didn't like it. And I don't think Jim disliked it because of the music. Jim disliked it because he didn't write it.
oh
So
yeah.
we had so I was forced. I was just absolutely compelled to finish the song. So, and then once it got finished, I thought this could be a lot better. And then it took another 15 years till it came out on Red is Color Ripping Death. But yeah.
Is that how long? 15 years? Is that how long ago it was? I don't remember. It just seems like
Oh
yeah,
yeah,
it's definitely a while.
that
This is probably
it's
like
got
'08 or so. Yeah.
yeah, it's got to be because I had that song that got written, yeah, probably 15 years ago, and
It's on some 7-inch. I know
Yeah,
that.
all these while I think is
Okay.
split with all these
So I
while.
remember when it came out, like, this is fucking horrible. I was
Yeah.
like, what the fuck is this? What's the favorite song live to play? You don't play a lot of my favorites,
Actually, I
but
think
nobody got that memo.
I
Put
think
it in the suggestion box and just denied.
what's the memo? What do you want? What do you got?
Um,
Oh, you like that song from that one
oh,
split?
definitely Mother Cunt Whore.
We play that live.
What? No, you don't play Cerebus, which that's really good too.
We play them both.
Not when I was there.
We do play them a lot.
I mean,
but my favorite would probably be like Three Nails, One Liar.
that's what that's
I think is a really
that
good.
was my biggest complaint about Angelic Dread, is that I thought it should have been titled that. I thought that should have been the title of the album because it's such a good title, and I thought that was the hammer smash face of the fucking song of the album.
Well, it's it's strange whenever you're putting a record together, you're not quite sure how.
Yeah, no, you don't know yourself. Yeah,
turn out.
But when I heard, I was like, this is definitely the best song.
Like when we were doing like the song Hex, you know, structure wise, there's not much going on there. When it's just the three or four of you in the rehearsal going over the riffs and the arrangement, and you're just like, it's kind of. But you have to see it all the way through, and then basically once the lyrics and kind of the tone of the song got created, when we got to the what are we going to title this album? Uh, it probably was Jim. Maybe it was Jim and I both said, well, I think the song Hex is a really strong song, and it's a very simple song. But I think
it is. I definitely think the best song on that album. You guys do play it live. Is "Smell the Burning Churches." That's definitely my favorite.
That's usually we've been ending with that.
Now, one you haven't done that you don't do no more. You used to do it all the time in the early 2000s. Is "Obsessed with the Visions of Satanic Priest." That's definitely one of my favorites as well, easily.
Yeah, that's back in rotation. When I kind of ask a lot of the guys in the band, normally if we do a tour, we need to know over 50 songs. So,
well, one I would put in there, and especially now that Jim's gone too, either version. But if you want to just pay tribute like every night to Jim, and I think it's one of the best Nunslaughter songs ever. And I've never heard you play it live, so I'm assuming you never did. But then again, could have been a show I wasn't at. Is "Burn the Cross." Either your version, or if you just want to do his version, which you could do his vocals pretty decently. I mean, hell, the Massacre, Death and Hell cover doesn't sound anything like you. You're trying to sing like Cam.
Yeah.
So you can at least kind of imitate if you're like, just whatever. This is for Kanye, whatever. Because I thought that song was both. I like for both versions very, very much so.
Oh, glad. Yeah,
and I don't think you've ever done it live. If you have, I wasn't there.
We have, yeah. It was actually I think it was with the band Church Bazaar. We were in we were in Europe, and
that's when you stayed at Yen's place.
Yeah. We did it live then, and well, actually, it was Jim. It was Jim's version, so I just sat off to the side.
So Jim did it. Jim sang it.
Jim sung that.
Okay.
Live. But I don't think, and it was probably because someone there was telling us like, oh, you should do this, and I'm like, I don't know the fucking words.
And Jim just memorized this.
Well, Jim, if he doesn't know the words, he was fast on his thinking, and he could substitute words that would fit. So
yeah.
But yeah, it went.
Yes, I think that's one definitely you guys should add in the set list. But that is one that you asked. Which ones don't we do? As of right now, yeah, not always Mother Cunt Whore, Obsessed with the Visions, and I would definitely keep Burn the Cross in there. Might be a few others I'm kind of forgetting, but definitely those.
Yeah, it's
What time frame are we at? We think we'll do a couple more, then we could do a part 2 or whatever.
Yeah.
We like to keep them around 20 minutes. Today's society has a short attention span.
But yeah, knowing 50 plus songs. I mean, there's over 300 Nunslaughter songs.
Yeah.
So we have a decent chunk of them.
We never even answered the guy's goddamn question. What's your favorite song live?
Oh, no, I did. Three Nails, One Liar.
Oh, that is your favorite. Oh,
I mean,
okay. I didn't know that.
Out of probably. Okay. I think I probably played about 80 songs.
I wouldn't even had a guess if I had to. But I don't know. I Am Death. That's probably what I would have guessed.
Oh,
I was like, I don't know. Okay,
that's not my favorite song to play live. Yeah, Three Nails.
Three Nails. All right. Horrible Brothers, and that was Mike Violet comments all times. Don, are you proud / impressed with the massive contribution the Horrible Brothers have made to the metal scene that is HHB ?
I'm very impressed, yeah, and happy and that I was kind of here from pretty much from the beginning, from your all this kind of starting in your bedroom.
Yeah.
I mean, it's pretty impressive. I mean, I think people don't understand that there's a lot of work. This wasn't gifted to Hell's Headbangers. This was
Well, I
through
think that's what a lot of
sheer
people when
determination and a lot of hard work.
when people start their small label, they just think you put something out and the checks
people
just
will buy
roll
it.
in.
Yeah,
Yeah,
people
people
will buy
buy
it.
it. It's like anyone can put anything out. Doesn't make
There's
sense.
a lot of there's a lot going on. I can say that you guys have really um, done fantastic with this label, all coming just from you know your bedroom.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. That the way the kind of operation runs, very amateurish. The things I and the three of us, there's definitely times I'm like, I don't even know how the fuck it works. How it, you know what I mean?
How are you in
Yeah,
business?
I've said that multiple times. Don't even know how we're in business.
Yeah.
So, it is what it is. But yeah, we'll make that the last one for this goddamn video. And any other comments, questions, concerns, put in the comments box. Get an answer right in the morning. Later, goddamn it.